Good morning, everyone! Clear my throat here. Good morning, Cohagen. Welcome to yet another reading of Solo Leveling. But I feel like this is better said during when you guys can actually see my face. Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another live reading of Solo Leveling. Last we left out on, Suho was facing down against pretty much all of Jin's soldiers until he faces off against Bellion. And it seems like he may have an upper hand against Bellion until he realizes that Bellion isn't the big dude. He's not the big boss. And then the big boss shows up. So it should be interesting to see how Suho behaves and tries to take on Jin himself. Let's begin! Special episode 20. And it shows both Suho and Jin launching at each other. And they launch in a cataclysmic style. And their clash causes the entire environment to implode. And they're clashing, and Jin is using his daggers, and he's already drawn blood from Suho. Like, he's already slashed Suho across the face. And Suho didn't even realize it. And then it shows them clashing with each other, just going up against each other. With Suho thinking, he's fast, not to mention strong. Incredible. It's not just his sheer force. Every single one of his strikes is executed with precision. That's Jin. He's a master of everything. Because Suho is pretty much left on the defensive right now, to the point where he even gets driven into a wall by Jin. There's technique in every single attack. Suho can do nothing except put his guard up. He can't even launch an attack because Jin is just barraging him with endless strikes that Suho can't even counter. Just how much effort and exposure to life or death situations is required to reach that level? You have no idea. And then the whole area just explodes because Jin is just beating up his own son, and then he stops. And then Suho is just like left skidding backwards from the force of the blow. But that doesn't mean I'm just going to let myself lose. My stats have been boosted to the max, and my combat abilities have reached a level where I can fully harness them. And he launches back at Jin. Even if that guy surpasses my ability, I still have a chance of winning! And it cuts to Suho. It cuts to Suho rushing towards Jin, still bleeding. I still have a chance of winning! And it shows him dash past Jin. But then all of a sudden, in this beautifully drawn long panel, we see a bunch of cut marks all over his body. He tries to rush Jin with every ounce of speed that he has, and Jin just sidesteps him and then just proceeds to cut him all over his body. And in the process, destroys his very gauntlets. You know, the S-rank gauntlets that he worked so hard to get from fighting all of those soldiers before. Yeah, those just get instantly destroyed. And Suho sees his whole body just covered in cuts. He may be my enemy, but I can't help but respect him. If only I could be as strong as him! And it cuts to Suho using his last remaining gauntlet to try and hit where Jin is. And Jin could... Jin is just finessing on his own son. He's just finessing on his own son! Jin dodges out of the way and then puts his hand on Suho's head and goes, "How did you enjoy the game?" Huh? Game? You did well. I recognize that voice. Dad? But I'm afraid you're not quite there yet. And then he just shoves Suho through the gate that Jin landed in front of. Like he recognizes his voice. How did you... Yo, Jin! Yeah! I told you it was a game. I told you it was a game. Now we know that it was Jin who put it together. How did you enjoy the game? Huh? Game? You did well. I recognize that voice. Dad? But I'm afraid you're not quite there yet. And then he just shoves Suho through the gate as he looks back. And then it cuts to Suho, who's back in his classroom as if nothing happened at all. He's back in his regular school clothes. It's like nothing happened. And Suho gets up just thinking, that was one of the most bizarre dreams I've ever had. Have I been gaming too much lately? Wandering around weird dungeons and facing my dad as the final boss? And then it cuts to a classmate going, oh, I didn't know someone was still in here. Are you going home? I'm gonna lock the classroom door. Okay, want some help? Sure. And Suho, his whole face is just flush as he's just thinking like, was that all a dream? And then it cuts to Suho looking outside, or at least he's looking out a window, but we got individuals standing on top of his school! Ah! So I love this chapter already. We got Beru. We see the red feather of Igris at the top. And we see a regular humanoid figure, obviously Jin, just standing on top of the school of Suho. And then it cuts to Jin himself. Remember, this dude is a lot older now. It's nice to be able to make use of the architect's remnants. Otherwise, they would have been left forgotten in the world of slumber. My liege, wouldn't it be all right to restore His Highness's powers back to him? The test has been conducted several times already, but this is the first time His Highness has managed to reach you, my liege. Personally, I believe he's well qualified. Had I relied solely on my own powers and faced the King of Dragons, do you think we still could have emerged victorious? No matter how strong one may be, it's crucial to know how to retreat when victory is uncertain. To blindly charge at a powerful adversary without careful calculation is both foolish and rash. Yo! Jin! So much character development for him. He's speaking from experience. He's allowed to say that. I love this dialogue. It speaks so much not on how he views Suho in terms of his strength and where Suho needs to improve, but also how much Jin had to endure and how much he had to learn to get to the level of infinite power he's at right now. No matter how strong one may be, it's crucial to know how to retreat when victory is uncertain. To blindly charge at a powerful adversary without careful calculation is both foolish and rash. Not yet. Now is not the time. I'm sure he'll eventually learn to adjust his strength to different situations. Besides, even if he doesn't know it, that kid will open the door again and again to challenge himself. And then it just cuts to Suho walking with his classmate outside of the school. Then it cuts to Beru, who's just tearing up. I bet you anything, and he's looking at a picture. I bet you anything he's looking at the picture that Suho drew when he was a child. And he just starts tearing up. Your Highness! And then it cuts to Jin, slightly older looking, like he has like a slight curve under his eye, like a bag under his eye. And it's like, wow, Jin is older now. It's like, wow. It's like Jin is older now. Now that I think about it, we haven't really seen Jin ever since Suho has grown up. Like, we've seen Jin when he was older, but we haven't really seen his face all that much. We've seen Jin when he was older, when Suho was a child, but we haven't really seen much of Jin as with Suho as a teenager. So we see a much, much older Jin as he's standing there with his shadows. Yep. It's the picture. And Beru is in fact holding the picture that Suho drew of him and Beru when he was a kid. I've got an important matter to attend to today. Maybe we'll have a family dinner afterward. Also in the news today, infamous conman brothers Huang Dong-suk and Huang Dong-su were arrested just this afternoon, bringing an end to their reign of terror. Wow! Okay. Hwang Dong-suk and Hwang Dong-soo. We finally get them in the story. But they're infamous con men that have been arrested. What are the odds that they were arrested by Jin? Infamous con men brothers Hwang Dong-suk and Hwang Dong-soo were arrested just this afternoon, bringing an end to their reign of terror. Next up, we're bringing you live to the scene of a major forest fire that broke out earlier today, posing a threat to a nearby residential area. Thankfully, swift action was taken and 52 fire trucks and 800 firefighters were deployed to douse the flames. And amongst these firefighters, we get the Min Byung-gu, who's amongst these ranks, and Bayek. You know, the dude that used to be part of the White Tiger Guild. He's part of the firefighters as well. And then someone puts like a cold water bottle up against his head. Hey, that's cold. Great work today. Thank you, sir. Chief Sung is amazing. Excuse me? Chief Sung? Chief Sung. Wait. Is that... I think that's Jin's dad. I think that's Jin's dad. I think that's Jin's dad. Because I was about to say, that isn't Jin. And said, no, that's not Jin. That's not Jin. Because Jin has longer hair than his dad. But his dad is apparently the chief of the firefighters. Chief Sung sure is amazing. I can't believe he still has energy left after all that. One day I'm gonna be just like him. What's that in the sky? It's probably just a plane. And in the distance, it's clearly not a plane, but it's a giant dragon just flying off in the distance. And then we cut to a massive building. Yeah, we cut to a massive building, and we have someone going, Mr. Yu, is everything all right? Yes. Where were we? I was just telling you that we need to come up with a title for the VR game we're launching soon. Sir, are you listening? Big news, everyone! My wife's pregnant! Oh! Suho! Not Suho. Jino! It's Jino! And if he's talking about wife, is he talking about Jinna? Big news, everyone! My wife's pregnant! She's already at 6 weeks! Congratulations, Mr. Yu! Congrats! You're finally becoming a father! Let's call our new game Beautiful World. What? Isn't it the perfect title for a game that brings virtual reality to life? Please, Mr. Yu, I urge you to reconsider. The fate of our company hinges on the success of this game. Beautiful World just doesn't cut it. That's just ridiculous! Am I really that terrible at coming up with names? Maybe I should ask Jinwoo to pick a name for our children then. Then again, I vaguely recall he didn't have a knack for naming things either. Relax, everyone. We've already secured an investor. We have? That's right. I'm thrilled to announce that Chairman Yoon Myung-han, the renowned business tycoon, has chosen to invest in our company. Whoa! Seriously? And it shows Kaisel flying over this building that Jino is, the CEO of. And he's making a whole VR game. Look at all these people and how much time has passed for them. Yu Jin-oh, CEO of Ajinsoft. Because remember, the Ajin Guild was the name of the guild that Jin created back in the previous timeline. Yu Jin-oh, CEO of Ajinsoft, a legendary tale of success, a young entrepreneur's journey in defiance of the conglomerate establishment. And then it cuts to someone going, Are there any more articles? Not at the moment, sir, but soon the papers will be filled with them. Oh, wait. Are there any more articles? None at the moment, sir, but soon the papers will be filled with them. I can't believe that after resigning from the position I gave him, all he managed to do was found a game company. I can't wait to meet my grandchild. And it's Jino's father, who's just looking at the news and going through all the articles and everything. But apparently he's having these things cut out of papers because he's creating a scrapbook, because it looks like he's looking at a scrapbook. I can't wait to meet my grandchild. Then it cuts to a massive sky. Oh, this is a beautiful shot. The sun is setting, but the view of this shot, like there are tons of buildings in this one shot. Good Lord, who did this panel? This is beautiful. This is a really beautiful shot. And the sky gets brighter and brighter, and then it cuts to the sky. And then it cuts even higher into the sky, and then it shows a crack in the sky. It shows a crack in the sky, and then the crack turns into like a massive whirlpool of, like almost like another gate is open up in the sky, and it's massive. It's like it's massive. Is this the wait? This gate is opening up over the world. Not just this section of the city. It looks like it's opening up out in space. It looks like it's opening up in space. We got a giant gate in space. To be continued. No. You can't leave me hanging like that. We got like a giant gate in space. Okay. All right. That's the end of the chapter. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So, we get Suho going up against Jin, but Jin easily outclasses Suho, not suffering even a bit of dirt on his clothes, but he messes up Suho and tells him, yeah, you're very strong. You're quite strong, but you're not there yet. And then shoves him out of the gate, makes him wake back up as if nothing happened. Like, this was a whole test of Jin's. This was a whole test from Jin, and Suho is strong. But even Jin realizes, like, you could have all that power, but none of it matters if you're foolish and rash. Rushing headfirst into an enemy you have no idea whose strength you can match up against. Foolish and rash, but he's not there yet. So, it's like one day he'll learn how to truly harness that power. My goodness. Aha! This is such a good chapter. Then we saw all these different people showing up in Jin's life, like Jino, CEO of Agensoft, a gaming company, and Jinna, obviously his wife, is going to be having a child, and she's already 6 weeks. Then we got Bayek and we got Min Byung-gu. They're firefighters, as Jin's father is the chief of the firefighters as they're helping put out fires. And Hwang Dong-suk and Hwang Dong-soo, con men, were arrested. It's like all these different individuals I kind of been wondering about, and they show up in this chapter, or at least referenced in this chapter. So, this was a good chapter. I enjoyed it. But the fact that we're getting a to be continued, it's like, okay, all right, we're getting even more of this story. And what's the deal with the gate that's opening up ahead? Overall, I enjoyed this chapter. Sorry if it seems like I'm moving quite quickly. Family's downstairs with food, and I want to help them out. But overall, this was yet another great chapter of Solo Leveling. I honestly can't wait to see the next one, and I don't even know how much longer these special episodes are going to go on for. I don't know how much longer they're going to go on for, but I'm enjoying every single one. And I hope you guys have been enjoying my reactions of this. And I know there's going to be some people that are like, show images, but I can't because of copyright reasons. I literally just had my one and only strike dropped recently because of me and my thumbnails for Solo Leveling. So I don't want to risk going even further than that. So if you guys want to see what I'm seeing, either go to the official site on Tapas or TappyToon, or just a simple Solo Leveling special episode in your search bar will yield the results of what I look at. But there's not much else I can say about this chapter other than I really enjoyed it. I look forward to the next one. And stop by later, because I'll be continuing my One Piece read-through with Volume 19. So, at the end of the day, all I can really say is hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then like, subscribe, share this stream with everyone you know, because the more the merrier. And maybe even consider becoming a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples.